Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Tyrian Bezbold reporting back from MWO, and this time from the PTR client to have a look at the new skill tree that's currently coming out. So what I plan to do here this time is to go ahead, have a look at the skill tree, explain a little bit of what I see going on, and then also show you some side-by-side comparisons of some of the mechs and what they're doing and what the changes will actually mean. So, let's go ahead. Let's just go ahead and select a fresh mech. Let's say maybe this one. I didn't spec this one out yet. And let's go to the mech lab first and foremost. And you'll see modules gone. No more modules. That's all in the skill tree now. That means, yes, you have to spec everything that you had from modules now in the skill tree. Consumables changed to up to a maximum of 6 slots and not only just 2, with the added fun addition that you actually have to bind 6 buttons now for each separate consumable slot. So let's say you have like 2 or 3 UAVs or cool shots. Yep, every one of those has to be triggered individually. I don't know if that's such a good choice, but nevertheless, there is a new distinction here. You got the cool shots, you got the airstrikes, and you got the UAVs. All of the costs on those went up. However, if you look at that, it's advanced UAVs, priority airstrikes, or cool shots 18. So that might be okay. We'll have to see. I mean, it's definitely more effective than the other stuff. All right, jumping into the skills. This is the big Kahuna. This is what everybody's been talking about. This is what everybody's been complaining about. And after enough complaining from the community, they actually went and changed the skill tree a little bit. Changed the way that, for example, now you don't have to pay anything to actually respec the mech, as in get the points back, but you will have to pay half the XP you spent to unlock a node to get it back if you already previously unlocked it. Alright. So let's have a quick look into the skill tree. I don't want to go insanely into detail here because I think it doesn't matter. You can use the mouse wheel, by the way, to zoom in and out. So your weapons tree is basically anything that has to do with weapons, as you had before the modules. Let's say LPL range or LPL cooldown. That's all in this tree now. So for example, this mech right here, this Battlemaster, it uses LPLs and medium lasers. So if I wanted to spec for this, I would have to take this node because it's the first node, and these nodes are codependent, so you can't just say I want this and this node and maybe that node. No, that doesn't work. You actually have to spec it down the line. So you got range 1, and then you have 2 choices right now. You can go laser duration or velocity. Velocity is weapon velocity, so that goes more in towards ballistics and missiles, and we want to spec lasers anyhow because we only have lasers on this mech. So duration, 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 duration. Weapon cooldown, laser duration, laser duration, laser duration. Range. Duration. Heat generation. Alright. As you can see, this node here is selected currently. This node with the little white spaces in between, that is not unlocked yet. So heat gen, heat gen. Let's go over here. Range, cooldown, cooldown, heat gen, heat gen. So by speccing this way, you basically have everything that is available on this side of the tree, which is the energy weapons tree, and we get minus 3.2% cooldown, minus 5% heat, 4.5% range, and 15% laser reduction in duration. It's burn duration. Alright, now what does this mean compared to the old modules? If you remember, the old modules would give you actually 10% cooldown, or even 12% cooldown, and 10% range. So in total, this is a nerf. I'm just gonna say it. This is a nerf. Your weapons will not reach as fast, they will not cool down as fast, and they might generate even more heat. The thing is, of course, the heat generation here comes on top of what is already in the mech chassis, and in this case, that means, come on, give me that. Mech already comes with some quirks here, for example IS medium laser heat or IS medium laser range, so that of course will also factor into this. But still, I don't know, to me that feels like a nerf, and please correct me if I'm wrong here. I might be wrong, but to me that is a nerf, because to get all the other cool things like maximum range or maximum cooldown, I would have to spec into a tree that will take me into nodes that I don't want to take. For example, let's say I want to get to cooldown 10. I can't get there without speccing magazine capacity or LBX spread, which is completely useless on my laser boat. So that is not going to be possible. I think Baradul made a point where he said that this will actually discourage boating and encourage weapon diversity. I disagree at this point. Reason being, if you take all these points in here, and the maximum is 91 and we already have 23 spent, then you can't spec into the other trees as far, and there are a few trees which I would consider mandatory for a medic like this. But let's stay here with the firepower tree for a second. As far as missiles go, for example, you get high explosive, which increases the missile crit chance. You can decrease the missile spread, which is very nice. And you actually can get, where is it, missile rack 1 and missile rack 2 down here. And that will give you more ammo capacity. So for example, for each ton of SRM ammo capacity, you can get up to 20 missiles. If you get missile rack 2. That is pretty nice, actually. If you look at the right-hand tree, that is basically the tree for all your good old ballistics. And again, you also get capacity, magazine capacity 1 and magazine capacity 2. And that will basically give you, for example, if you take both of them, extra 2 shots per Gauss ammo ton. So not too shabby. I mean, if you take 5 tons Gauss ammo, that is basically 10 extra shots. That's basically a ton of extra ammo. What is also pretty peculiar here is that you can get UAC jam chance reduced, that is very nice. LBX spread reduced, also very, very nice. And Gauss charge. You can actually increase the Gauss charge duration, and I'm gonna show this later on in a little clip with the boiler, to 1 full second. So you can basically get double charge duration out of it. That is the time that you have once the Gauss has charged up and is ready to fire. The time in between that point and the point where you actually shoot. That increases to 2 full seconds. That gives you a lot more time to actually aim, or pre-aim and walk around corners and have more time to actually get your shot off. That is nice. And there's also some more heat gen and in there, as well as projectile velocity. Of course, that would also be very important for any kind of ballistic build. Okay, so much for that tree. Let's hop over to survival. Now, in survival, you'll find a lot of things that are very important for all kinds of mechs, but specifically for assault mechs. Reinforced casing will go ahead and reduce the chance that you get critted in your components. Shock absorbance reduces fall damage. Well, not so good, but I'd argue better than AMS overload. If you don't use AMS, you don't need AMS overload. Skeleton density will give you more structure bonus, and where is it? Armor hardening will give you just more armor. And if I spec fully into this tree, just give me a second here. It's gonna be a quick thing. Don't check AMS overload. Although that might be pretty cool on a mech that is specialized for AMS. I mean, this could be a real missile killer if you take AMS overload 1 and 2. So, take all the armor quirks and all the structure quirks, and look at that. 23% structure bonus across the board and 13% armor bonus across the board. That is pretty sick. That's pretty nice, actually. It allows you to make your mech very tanky, especially, I mean, since this is a flat percentage, especially the assaults will benefit a lot from that one. Now, looking over here, that is the agility tree that says agility here and mobility up here. Also, it says survival up here and armor structure down here. And it says firepower up here and weapons down here. Hello, PGI design team, you might want to look into this. This looks like an oversight. Jump jets, jump capabilities, operations, mech operations, sensors, sensor systems, auxiliary, miscellaneous. And miscellaneous is down here as well. Okay, well, guys, you need to work on this. This looks a little bit rough. Holy crap. Alright, looking into the mobility tree right here. This is basically where you have all your mech speed, and that also includes arm speed, turn speed, pitch speed, as well as pitch angle, of course, the amount that you can turn your mech's torso, as well as speed tweak down here. So remember the thing that you just had to master, or actually elite 3 mechs to get? Now every mech can get it, but it's far down here in the mobility tree. So if you're already something invested into the firepower tree because you want to kill stuff, and in survival because you want to survive, let's just go ahead and quickly apply the changes. Then, at that point... Actually, what did happen here? Do I have the full survival tree now or not? Yes, I do, it's just a bug. Okay, fine. So, at that point, we have 43 points left. Now, how do you spend those? I mean, of course, jump jets doesn't really matter. We don't have to look into this right now because the mech doesn't have jump jets. It will also tell you that your mech cannot equip jump jets, or with a yellow triangle that your mech currently doesn't have jump jets equipped, so that is a nice warning sign. What do we have to choose from? Mobility. We could choose from operations, that is where you have like speed retention or less cockpit shake whenever you get hit. Heat containment, quick ignition, cool run, which increases heat dissipation. So all the cool stuff you just basically could get for your mechs from the get-go, you have to spec very deeply into this tree right now. Very deeply. Easily over 20 points. Same thing goes for a speed tweak. I mean, look at this insane tree. To get your speed tweak, yeah, well, better shave off some armor quirks or reduce your firepower. So getting the best of all the worlds is not going to be possible anymore. So I would have to say I see this on two sides. On the one side, it does encourage build diversity. On the other sides, it may end up making the fast mechs really fast and the slow mechs really slow. We'll have to see. Okay. So, as I said, mobility, basic mobility stuff, nothing really crazy in here. Anchor turn, of course, as well. Let's move on to the next tree. Jump jets. So, what do you get? Heat shielding, which will actually reduce the amount generated by your jump jets. Vent calibration, that will increase your burn time a little bit on the jump jets. And as well vectoring, for example, that increases your forward thrust of the jump jets. That's also pretty nice. And lift speed, yeah, increasing lift speed basically. You can do some pretty nice shenanigans on this one, and I'm going to show this off in a little clip later on as well. That basically allows you to jump on the HPG wall now, or to, let's say, jump jet a direwolf or a supernova across the walls on HPG. If you want to do so, because again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20 points in this skill tree. Do you want to do this just to have some jump jet shenanigans? Well, if you're the beef, maybe yes, but if you're TTB, you'll just look at that and be like, nah. Alright, mech operations, what do we have in here? We have quick ignition, we've got improved gyros, as I say, speed shake, cool run, speed retention. Speed retention can actually be quite interesting, especially for clan mechs, but still, we'll have to see how that goes. There's gonna be a lot of experimenting down the lines for this one. Moving into sensors, that is basically what used to be your modules. So instead of just slapping it on any mech where you ever want it, you don't have to buy the modules now, but you have to spend up to 27 skill points to get this, which is, to make this very, very clear, more than a quarter, or actually around like 30% of all your total skill points if you want to get radar deprivation right now. That sucks. That just sucks. I mean, let's see. Let's say I have a battle master and I want to get radar derp. Alright. So what do I want to have? Maybe sensor range? Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. Get this. Okay. Do I need target info gathering or target retention? Well, that is a good question. Let's say we wanted to get down this line, right? So get info gathering, sensor range. There's radar derp 1, radar derp 2, radar derp 4. And seismic. Alright. Alright. So 60% radar derp only, and 100 meter seismic sensor range. If I want to have more of this, I actually have to go down this tree. Over here is advanced zoom now, by the way. Go down to target retention, target decay, seismic sensor. Oh, and if I want to have even more radar derp, well, I need to get this, this, and this. At that point, yeah, invested, well, 19 skill points into that tree, if that is correct. That is quite a lot, actually. That is quite a lot. And over here, miscellaneous, that is basically your consumable stuff, where you can buff your amount of available consumable slots, the amount of UAVs that you have, and so on. Strategic strikes, airstrikes, as well as coolant reserves and the cooldown on your cool shots. So that might actually be interesting for high alpha energy boats, for example. But again, gotta spend quite some stuff. So let's say you want to go UAV, enhanced cool shot, 1, 2. It's actually not that bad, but you're still ending up like spending 5, 6. If you want to have more consumable slots, even more than that. But let's say, okay, you just want to have this. That's fine, 6 points or so. So that is something that you can consider taking, but you will have to remove some other quirks, some other skill points here. So overall, what do I have to say about this? Well, it is very complicated, in my opinion. And that's, I don't know, that might just be the first idea of it. It might get better once you get used to it, but it is a little bit overwhelming if you see it the first time. A little bit complicated, and again, we'll have to see how it turns out in the end. There might be some really crazy cookie cutter builds coming out now that nobody sees coming. So that is something that to keep an eye out for. I think the survival tree is very important, especially the bigger and slower your mech gets. Mobility is also very important. But let's say we have the mech spec so far. We want to get into some mobility. I would like to get some of the operation stuff as well, and that's where it gets a little bit tricky. Let's see. So let's say I don't want to shake my screen so much. Then we need to contain our heat, run a little bit cooler. Take this. Take this. Take this. We need the hill climb for the cool run, hill containment. Yeah. Need this now. Okay, then we shake even less, and we get the 2 cool runs. All right, that's 22 points into this little tree. And now comes the mobility tree. Let's see how much we can get actually. So using torso weapons here. So let's go with torso pitch. Don't need arm pitch, so I go torso yaw. Hard break is important. Speed is important. Alright. Anchor turn, very important. And then you have to take arm pitch for some reason. Even in a torso only mech. Speed tweak, speed tweak, speed tweak. So at that point we have speed tweak how much, you might ask? Well, if I can find it, I will tell you. No, I think it was, okay, here. Mech top speed, 4.5%. And to get the rest of it, we have to go even deeper, but guess what? We only have 7 points available. So, let's see how far this gets us. And the answer is, gets us exactly 1 more speed tweak. You can't take the last one. So at that point, 6% mech top speed, not 7.5% as before. So as I said, overall, in comparison to mastered mechs with fully mastered modules, to me, this looks like a nerf. It's making them weaker because you don't have as many bonuses. Please discuss, let me know what you think. As always, let me know down in the comments below what you liked about this video, what I could have made better. And we'll just jump into a few clips right now, and after that, we'll be done. And you will know more about the ominous skill tree system that somehow doesn't even have consistency within its own labeling. So, see you in the clips. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and do some testing. On the left side you will see the current build as it is on the live servers. On the right side you will see the PTS build with the new skill tree available. We're running a Kodiak 3 with the same build for both sides. It is basically just a UAC 5, UAC 10 cookie cutter build that you know. And I want to get your guys' attention towards the heat scale actually, because you can see that on the right side on the PTR, the heat scale is rising a lot faster. Now, I'm using cooldown modules on the left side, as anybody else would. On the right side, we're actually using the good old skills that are coming in new. And as you can see, we were actually able to shoot 16% more shots on the PTR, and that is due to the UAC Jam Chance skill that you can get, and that will allow you to fire more shots, but of course it also means that your mech will overheat a little bit faster, depending of course on the luck that you have with your Ultra AC5 jams, because that can go either way. You can be very lucky on the current version, or you can be very unlucky on the PTS, so take it with a little bit of with a little grain of salt. In order to get a really good idea here, you would have to do an insane amount of test cases, and that is just too much time needed to do that. So what I'm doing here right now with about 300% speed is I'm trying to shoot empty all my ammunition, both on the current version as well as on the PTS. And as you could see, the PTS actually had a little bit more ammo in there because of the 2 ammo skills that are available. However, it actually took roughly the same time to shoot 360 shots each from the UAC 5s and UAC 10s. So with this method that I'm using, which basically means shoot until you overheat, if you overheat, cool down again to 0% and then do it all again, it was actually pretty even. So no bad feelings here. However, as I said, it seems that the PTS version just shoots a little bit faster. In this screen, we're gonna go ahead and compare Gauss rifle charge-up times with my Supernova boiler. On the left side, again, you'll see the current version. On the right side is the PTS version of it. And as you can see, if I actually slow it down a lot, they charge at the same speed. However, look at the green bars. Yep, current is already gone and PTS is still available. So that is 1 second more that you have to actually get your shot into a target. That is pretty nice to have, if you ask me. Another nice shenanigan that you can do on the PTS currently is you can take a cicada, for example, or a spider, or a shadowcat, and you go to HPG and you just start jumping around like a madman. These new jump jet skills can give you insane thrust, of course. That also means insane time in the air, and as we all know, if you're in the air, especially against lasers, that can hurt a tad little bit. What you also can do, and that is something that I find pretty funny, you could do that with a Supernova, or you could also do that with the Direwolf. You can actually get a Direwolf up onto the opposing wall on HPG, so not only on the right hand side, Gulf 5 area, where you can basically march up with any mech. There's a ramp right now to the right of your screen. You just follow that a little bit to the right and then march around the end of the crater until you get to the Gulf 5 Fox 5 area. But the clue is that you can actually go ahead and now, finally, with these jump jet changes, you can actually jump that Direwolf across the gap over towards the Fox 5-4 area. However, that will require that you invest a little bit into the jump jet tree, and by a little bit, I mean a lot. And well, while this might be something for somebody who likes to, I don't know, jump jet around in a Direwolf, I probably wouldn't waste the skill points for weapons or armor or speed or mech agility in general just to be able to do that stupid jump. I mean, come on! Alright guys, that is it for this clip. Let me know what you think. Hope you liked it. And as always, if you like what you're seeing, please go ahead and press that subscribe button. TTB out.